Keiko was the perfect child. In high school, she was a ROTC cadet. She was a straight A student, started hanging out with different people, and became pregnant at an early age. It has just been a struggle for her. Right before her daughter's 3rd birthday, she wanted to buy a gift for her. An acquaintance told her if she made this delivery that she would have enough money for the purchase. So Keiko went to deliver the drugs, and it was a police setup, and she was arrested. When Keiko was actually sentenced, she knew she was pregnant, and she knew that there was something wrong with the pregnancy. She was not checked for at least a month. She did finally get her ultrasound appointment, and she found out that it was anencephaly, the birth defect. Keiko went into labor, and they put her in a holding cell. She was left alone all night. Baby Raven passed away in her mother's arm an hour after being born. But she said I could come pick her up. And she asked me to pick out a nice outfit for her to be buried in. She said, Mom, I got 100 weeks left. I'm gonna make one video a week as a journal of what's going on in here. And I was posting them to TikTok.
I was just informed that a woman was taken to the hospital unresponsive due to a drug overdose. So a woman from our dorm was finally given medical attention after 2 weeks of putting in sick calls and gasping for air.
So the reaction that we got was astounding. Keiko has over 5 million views on TikTok and almost 200,000 followers. It's something that you never think about, the medical or the elderly and the things that are going on in there. There's so much mistreatment. I was never aware of how bad this was.
So I've decided it's important to tell you a very personal story of mine. Last Christmas, I found out I was pregnant just 2 weeks before being sentenced. My doctor said my baby was at risk and it was urgent that I be seen. I told my judge, but my judge denied me access to that appointment and sent me to prison. So when I came to prison, I was housed with 8 other pregnant women. It is law to be provided supplemental food, but I never received any. Dinner was served at 2 p.m. and breakfast was 15 hours later. I did not receive prenatals for the first 5 weeks, and the antibiotics prescribed to me, I didn't get for 55 days. After 2.5 months of being told that my baby was not at risk, I finally got to go to a hospital. I found out I was having a little girl. I also found out that she had anencephaly. Her brain was exposed and vulnerable. It is law that I am entitled to equal access to medical care as though I'm not incarcerated, but I never even got to go back to the hospital for another appointment. 6 months later, just an hour after my baby was born, she died in my arms.
Kathy, I'd like you to respond to an excerpt of a statement from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Lowell Correctional Institution and see what you say to this. Lowell CI has been subject to numerous outside audits by correctional experts and the Department of Justice. Outside audits have found Lowell to meet and in some instances exceed national standards. What's your reaction to that, Kathy?
I would say that is utterly impossible for them to be able to pass any inspections. And if that is the case, they wouldn't have threatened me by revoking my visitation or putting Keiko in lock for the media that we were getting out.
And what'd you want to say?
They don't pass inspections. Nobody comes into the prison to ask how we're treated. They come into the prison to make sure the prison's clean. And of course it's clean. I just painted over the mold. But they mentioned the Department of Justice. They did a 2.5-year investigation, Dr. Phil, and the United States DOJ came back and they basically stood behind everything we've been saying. This is what's happening at this prison. And then DOC, of course, comes back and says, yeah, no, I don't really think it's founded. And even after a powerful report by DOJ, nothing has changed. Every form of abuse that you've ever heard of is happening at that prison every single day.
And on the note of other inmates, I have this stack of letters.
Uh-huh.
These are all stories from inmates on what happened to them, how they've been treated. It's very eye-opening.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.